English speaking community can easily identify that you are a non-English speaking person with that pronunciation. Now, all the words which are starting with the letter W, if somebody can very quickly give me one word, otherwise I will start off. Can anybody give me some words with the letter starting with the letter W? Water, weather, when, which, watermelon. These are some of the words with W. Then there are some words with the letter B. Now these words, again, if somebody can help me with some words with B, that's great. Otherwise, letters with B would be village, value, venture, and so on and so forth. Now, this letter B also comes in between a word. Like, for example, five, F-I-V-E, five. Then, achieve. Like this, V comes in between many of the words also. Now, why am I sharing all this? Most of the people, they end up pronouncing this letter B in a wrong way. The fight is between W and a V. The fight is between W and a V. The technique to pronounce the letter W is to make a oo sound. People, are you able to see me? If you are able to see me, please concentrate or focus your eyes on my lips. Even if you're not liking my face, that's fine, but concentrate on my lips. All the words which we need to pronounce with W, we should be making the oo sound. Like, for example, water, water, watch, weather, when, which, what. Now you will be saying, hey, Priya, come on, that's fine. We all do that. That's absolutely fine. Why are you teaching all these things? Now, of course, I'm not teaching you. Why are you sharing all these things? Fine. Fine, fine, fine. Wait. Now, let's try to fight with the letter B. That's where the problem comes in. The word is venture. Most of us end up pronouncing the word venture with a oo, venture, wrong. Village, village, wrong. Achieve, achieve, oo, wrong. Then five, instead of five, we say five, wrong. What is the trick? What is the formula? The formula is very, very simple. When you pronounce the word which has a V in it, bite your lower lip. Once again, bite your lower lip. So, initially, I want you to exaggerate. Initially, I want you to stress on those techniques. What do I mean by stress on those techniques? When I say how to emphasize, how to exaggerate, I'm saying when we are making the pronunciation or when we are pronouncing the words with the bite your lower lip and emphasize on it. Stress on that formula. So, how do I pronounce village? Village. Bite your lower lip. How do I pronounce value? Value. How do I pronounce five? Bite your lower lip when there is a V in it. Five. How do I pronounce achieve? Achieve. Come and bite your lower lip. Of course, you don't have to do that when you are talking to somebody. Automatically it gets registered and be fluent. Five. achieve, village, value. So it does not look, but then when you have to practice, please do it. So automatically, you will never ever say, please give me a glass of water. You cannot say water. If you say ooh, automatically that water will go away, water will come. Please give me a glass of no water. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? You will never end saying 5. Please give me 5 rupees. No. Ooh, we are conflicting with V and W. So if you bite your lower lips, you cannot say 5. It has to be 5. So, very simple technique. Bite your lower lips for V and make a O sound for W. You will never make any errors in pronunciation. Of course, this will take time. However, it's not a crossing tablet. You took it and the headache is gone. No, sorry. You got to practice. You got to try. And you got to be funny. If you are not funny, people will make fun of you. So you better make attempts to try this. I will give you a complete list of words with W and V so that you can practice. Any questions, any doubts? Okay. Now, another typical example of pronunciation error is that most of us have a tendency to convert an A to an O and an O to an A. A very simple example I'm giving you. Please listen to this sentence very carefully. It is making complete sense, but it is not the message which I want to convey. That's the dangerous part in pronunciation. Sometimes it so happens that the person understands what you say, but then it's not that what you're saying. I lost my last pen. What did I say? I lost my last pen. So, people may say, I lost my last pen. Here, the conflict or the conversion is happening with the word lost and last. Where there is L-A-S-T last, we are converting that A to an O. Please, this is the lost chance. What chance? Lost chance. No, it's A, last chance. And then, same way, I lost my pen. I lost my pen. Again, O is being converted to A. So you got to be a little bit careful. And of course, please try to understand. Ensuring that your pronunciation is good is not only that you practice, pronunciation can be improved with a lots of listening. A lots of listening is required. Please, from today onwards, whatever TV serials you're watching, whatever news channels you're watching, please help yourself convert into an English channel. I would suggest an Indian English channel would be appropriate. Most of our English has neutral pronunciation. There is no American or British accent. Of course, the British accent is the neutral accent, but they still emphasize on certain words. And of course, in our schools and other things which we have gone through, most of our academic course content is in British English. Again, we are not fighting and we are not discussing about British or American English. We are talking about neutral English and getting our pronunciation neutral. So the trick of getting your pronunciation normal is to listen a lot and try to copy. So this was about the two letters B and W and how to ensure that you achieve your pronunciation is basically, as I mentioned, by listening a lot of English. Now, we also mentioned the conversion or the conflict with an O and an A. Right? With an O and an A. Now, slowly, let us talk about one more letter, which most often we are not very sure, or we end up making mistakes. That letter is a C. Right? That letter is a C. Now, we've been learning that C is nothing but C for cat, C for cat, C for computer, C for come, but there is a small curve effect in it. Not a very strong stressed curve, but the C letter has to be pronounced with a curve. So it's very simple. C would be a C as in cat. Please catch that cat. Please come here. So there is a small curve effect into it. That's what we are trying to say, that it's not a curve, but it's a curve. That's one thing which we need to remember. Very, very quickly, for W, make a oo sound. For we, are you seeing me? Are you listening? For we, am I right? For we, am I right? Oh. No, I'm not right. For we, bite your lower lips. For W, make a oo sound. For we, bite your lower lips. Conflict between O and A, be very careful. Don't convert this O to an A and A to an O. I like fast food. What food? Fast food, not fast food. Okay? Then last and lost, be very careful. Then we added another letter. We said C. C is not a curve, but it's a curve. So, all and most of the letters with C will now become a cat, come, clever, catch. Right? So be a little bit careful about it. Now, there is one letter. It's not directly related to the pronunciation, but to make the pronunciation sound nice. That's the letter T. You know the letter T, T for Tom? Now, this T letter has to be made a little bit softer. I can say tractor. I can say ticket. I can say transport. So this T sound is hitting very hard. I need to make it a little bit soft. If some of you all are wearing a watch, listen to the watch, what the watch is saying. Listen to the watch, what the watch is saying. Is everyone with me?
Yes.
Now, if you listen to the watch, what it says, the watch says, no tuck tuck or tick tick, it says chick chick. Listen to your watch. Now, that's what we need to implement. Now, if I have to say ticket, just make a small blow in air. Ticket. Instead of saying transport, I can say transport. Can you hear that sound? That's what we need to do. Instead of saying a table, I will say table. Not a it's a table. Technology. Instead of technology, I will say technology. So we got to soften that T. That's a simple technique of T. And once we get this into place, automatically many words, tractor, ticket, teacher, transport, all these words will sound more beautiful, more nice, more comforting, more soothing to your ears. Any questions, any doubts at this point? Good. Now, there is another letter which we always end up misusing. I wouldn't say misusing, we don't use it effectively. And the letter is R. Same technique. As we have softened this T, we need to soften that R also. Now, if you remove the silencer from your motorcycle, we all know what is a silencer? If you remove the silencer from your motorcycle, when you start your motorcycle or your car would say a very, very acute sound it will make. But the moment you put the silencer, the sound changes to a that's kind of a sound. Same way, you've got to put some silencer when you pronounce this word or the letter R. So instead of saying tractor, I would soften that and I would say tractor, just to soften that effect. This will automatically make that sound or the pronunciation of that word sweet. It will soften, it will make people feel good when you talk with this kind of pronunciation. So these are some of the basic techniques. Since we are not going into the depth of pronunciation, these are some of the things which I wanted to share with you. And of course, if there is any question related to pronunciation, if you have, you can ask me before I go to the last point of pronunciation. Fine. Now, when we have this detailed workshop on language skills and on pronunciation specifically, there is something which we will be discussing. Of course, we are not discussing right now. There is something which we will be discussing about syllable and syllable stress. Now, what do we mean by syllable and syllable stress is that syllable means we can break the English word or any word in any language. We can break up into small pieces, and there once we have broken the word into small pieces, each piece is called as a syllable, and then depending on the word we have to stress. Only then there is life in your conversation. There is life in the word which you are talking. I can say computer. I can say computer. You're getting the difference what I'm saying.